We have some brand new set photos for The Flash Season 8, and it teases a first look for a new speedster coming during the back half of the season. Yo, what is going on guys, Flashverse here, and welcome back to another video on The Flash Season 8. And yeah, we have some crazy new set photos. This is for episode 19 of the season, aka the penultimate episode. I honestly wasn't expecting to see this. This is absolutely nuts. Now, the set photos that I'll be going over is not actually out in a public blog yet. It might be by the time this video is released online, but this is coming from Canada Graphs' Patreon. So yeah, it is essentially for those who are interested in seeing these set photos early. I will link it in the description down below. So if you guys are interested in subscribing to his Patreon, then of course be sure to do that. And of course, once the blog post comes out, I will link that in the description down below as well. But yeah, this set photo is incredibly interesting because it does tease a first look of a brand new speedster who has actually been heavily teased in previous episodes prior, but we never actually got to see them in the flesh. But yeah, we do see them in the flesh for the very first time, and these images are very, very interesting. Well, who is the speedster, you ask? This speedster is actually someone who goes by the name Meena, Dhawan, aka Fast Track. Two very familiar references we've had on the show prior, which did tease this character, but now she is actually on set filming, which is just insane. And of course, just having a brand new speedster addition to the show is just really, really cool. Of course, the first reference for Meena Dhawan was actually during the season 7 premiere, and it was during the opening scene where Chester was reading this book on quantum gravity. The one who wrote it was from Dr. Meena Dhawan. And most recently, the most recent reference to this character was actually during episode 6 of this season, where we had Bart and Nora going to a place where Avery worked, which is actually called Fast Track Labs. And of course, Fast Track is Meena Dhawan's alias. So those two were pretty cool and sneaky Easter eggs at the same time. But yeah, as you guys can see, we do have Meena Dhawan suited up in her speedster costume. And yeah, her alias is of course Fast Track, and I'm really looking forward to see how she comes into play in these next couple of episodes. Like, do they establish her as a speedster prior, and we get some flashbacks in regards to what happened to her and how she, got her abilities? Or there is going to be somewhat of a storyline possibly done by eobard, aka the Reverse Flash, who is actually confirmed to return for the back half of the season for sure. And we do know that he will definitely be there around episode 16, maybe even more if he is the main villain for that final graphic novel. But so far, we do know that he will be around for episode 16 for sure. So it could be somewhat of a storyline where eobard attempts to get his powers back and he is successful. But maybe there's some sort of an explosion which causes lightning to scatter everywhere and Meena Dhawan gets hit by it. That is of course a possibility. And then we have this storyline where Team Flash comes across Meena Dhawan and they find out that she's a speedster, and Barry pretty much trains her with her powers. And of course Chester will make her a cool looking costume. That is of course very, very possible. Another possibility is that we do know that for this episode Bart Allen will also be there. So it is safe to assume that if Bart is there, then well, Nora would be in this episode as well. So it could be something where we are actually in the future over here through time travel, and we do have a team up between the Flash and Fast Track. Or it is also possible that Bart and Nora knew Meena Dhawan from their timeline, and all three of them time travel to present day, maybe because Barry needed some extra backup because of the main threat. Those are also quite possible as well. But yeah, over here we do also have the Flash and Meena Dhawan teaming up together, and we could automatically just pick up how insanely comic book accurate her costume is, and it looks really, really cool. I love the texture and the colors of the suit, and it does really stand out compared to other speedster costumes we have seen on the show before. I'm loving it. It looks really, really sick. Now, for those unfamiliar with the character of Meena Dhawan, of course, her comic book origin is going to be quite different to what they will most likely do on the show, but we might get a similar nod to it, but not exactly. So pretty much in the comics, Meena Dhawan was a scientist in Star Labs, and long story short, she gets hit by the Speed Force storm and she gains speedster abilities and works alongside the Flash to train other speedsters who have also been hit by the Speed Force storm as well. And also she was a sidekick to the Flash as well. She does also become a villain at one point where she does go into this fight with Godspeed, and all the trainees try to pretty much counter Godspeed, and they all pretty much ended up dying, seemingly Meena Dhawan as well. And that is until it turns out that she was actually alive, and she worked for Black Hole and pretty much took up the alias Negative Flash. She somehow survived, and Black Hole pretty much got hold of her, and well, she became brainwashed by Gorilla Grodd, so she became a villain known as the Negative Flash. So it is quite an interesting storyline for her character, but I definitely don't think that this is what they're going to do on the show. Now, because there's no blog post out right now, I don't really know who they're facing off against. We do only see the Flash and Fast Track teaming up together, which is really, really sick, don't get me wrong, but we don't exactly know who they're facing off against. Since this is the penultimate episode, because this is episode 19, and for those who don't know, originally we were supposed to have 18 episodes this season, but then filming got extended, so now we're pretty much having 20 episodes, where pretty much episodes 15, 16, 17 are going to be interlude part 3 episodes, and then 18, 19, 20 will be part of the final graphic novel, and episode 19 is of course the penultimate episode of the season. So I would guess that they're probably facing off against someone tied to the main villain. Maybe someone's on the main villain's team, or maybe the main villain's planning something and then the Flash and Fast Track are trying to stop it. Those are all of course very, very possible. But saying that we're getting so many speedsters for this section of the season or this graphic novel, could this tease like a massive like speedster war coming? Because we do know that eobard Thawne is returning this season for sure. He's going to be there for episode 16, so that could of course set him up for later. So he could possibly be the main villain for the final graphic novel as well, which would make a lot of sense. So because it was said that eobard would have a big role for the back half of the season, and that won't really make much sense if it's just for one episode. So I won't be too surprised if eobard Thawne's actually there for more and he is actually the main villain of the final graphic novel of the season as well. So maybe there's this like speedster war going around, like there's just absolute chaos caused by the Reverse Flash, and we have these so many different speedsters returning because of how much of a big threat eobard is, and maybe with the amount of backup he has as well. Because as I said, we do know that Godspeed is also supposed to tie into the Flash season 8 in some way. Eric Wallace did confirm that Godspeed would be returning this season as well, so he could possibly be siding with the Reverse Flash, and then we have just eobard Thawne and Godspeed just causing chaos across Central City. And saying that, with the article we saw in the set photos for episode 15, it did say Zoom and Godspeed destroy Central City. Maybe we could see Zoom as well. Don't keep your hopes up for that. It's just a prediction. But Godspeed should definitely be here for these last few episodes, because it was confirmed that he would be returning unless Eric Wallace just fully changed his mind. So we could possibly have like this speedster war going around where we have eobard Thawne as the main villain, Godspeed sided with him, and then they're just basically causing chaos across Central City. And then in regards to Team Flash, we do of course know that Bart and Nora will be back for this section of the graphic novel, because we do know that Jordan Fisher is filming right now for episode 19, so he's definitely there. And if he is there, it is of course safe to assume that Nora will be there as well. In regards to Jay Garrick, I'm not sure if he will be going down to Vancouver to film some scenes, but we do know for a fact that the Flash and Fast Track are there, which is really, really exciting. And honestly, just looking at all of this does look like a really, really interesting story, and it does get me incredibly excited and interested to see what's going on over here. But man, this is going to be absolutely nuts, and I'm really, really excited to see how they're going to establish Meena Dhawan and how she pretty much becomes a speedster siding with Team Flash. I'm really, really interested to see all of it. And yeah, of course, it's a new speedster as well. It's great to have some new additional speedsters on the show. This has been someone that's certainly been teased for such a long time now, and yeah, we're finally getting them, which is pretty damn cool. But yeah guys, thanks for watching. If you guys have enjoyed the video, please give a like and subscribe. Be sure to tell me in the comment section down below if you guys are excited to see Meena Dhawan for this season. Also be sure to give me your overall thoughts and theories in regards to what is going on over here. Do you guys agree with me, or do you guys have your other opinions? I'm interested to see all of them. And yeah, I will see you guys in my next video.